Science.
Yep. That is called hillbilly engineering, but I'm not a hillbilly.
You're just Billy?
I just call it
on
dumbass.
a hill?
I just call it dumbass engineering. I wasn't being so polite. Okay, now we bore it out. Here's the port, you barely even touch the port down there.
Yeah.
So they knew what size they needed the port to be.
I think it's sick.
So now you look at where we cut, the port's still bigger underneath the us. But it's a lot better than it was.
Oh, yeah.
Look over here, you can see where the cutter is. See where I cut the aluminum?
Yeah, barely, though.
Well, if I cut the thing out for more high performance, it'd match what the port is.
Yeah, on the other side, it didn't even
Yeah, it just
touch.
It just touched aluminum right at the very tip, and it's done. Compared to that one over there, when you open it up, I cut quite a bit out. I could have cut more, but it's, it's a stock, more of a stock application. Okay, something's going on here. It's not supposed to stick like that.
What's that from? Is just not lined up properly?
I don't know.
Is that rod bent? Shouldn't be, right?
Something. I got tight on this one too.
Huh. Right on the end.
Something ain't right. She's not a happy camper. I guess there's some debris in there or something.
In there, yeah.
What that happened? What you been running? What'd you do to my tools? Did you
Whatever you did to them.
Did you screw up my tool? It's supposed to be quite that tight on the pilot. We have ways of fixing things like that around here.
Blow it out, smear. Oh, and hone it out.
We call it over here the honing machine. That's why it's sitting near the head machine. Okay, it's thinking of the right size already. It's 3/8. Let's see if it can go big enough. Oh, look at that. It goes big enough to do what we need. Now, if you don't want a big oil mess on here, turn that down. You take a little oil like that and go like that. Well, that's enough. Enough. I could clean it out. Where's your cleaner?
This right here, trusty old cleaner.
Oh, yeah, that too. Some of this heavy duty stuff. Don't squirt this in your eye, it hurts. Not that I'd ever do that. Never.
Intentionally.
Oh, you're supposed to do it intentionally now. Alright. Yeah, great. I can't see what it
Looks like a hole?
It looks like a hole. Can you tell where I honed it or not? I don't see any difference.
Oh no. Maybe there's some guck in there that was just interfering. Oh yeah, nice.
It's still right there at the very tip, but it's
Better than it was.
It's not binding like it was. It's manageable.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yep. lubricant inside it, and let it gall up. So we put a little CRC in it to make it slippery.
Good old CRC.
We're going to put a honing on there because we don't want a hole on it. Okay, now we try this again. Appears to work better than it used to.
Yeah, I think at that point it's just a spring.
It's a very light spring. Okay, now we'll go ahead and open this up again.
Has some miles on it.
So see how much we're cutting? The edge there.
Yeah, the little lip.
Yep. That's how much we're opening. Not too much, just a little. The high performance job we do more. If you're stupid, you leave it alone. That's how most porters do things. You don't have a head boring machine like I do. Here's we did the same thing. It barely cut the aluminum. So I cut more on this side. This one was smaller than this other one. Not by much though.
It's like 2 thou difference, right?
Well, I cut here, right here, this far, as well as over here, like this side. See this side here and this side here are the same. Mirror image. But we cut on this one here. This one here we didn't cut on this one. So. Massively hog that out for killing that airflow, the velocity. All right, there you go. That is how you do that. Looks so easy. Now we're going to take this. We're going to pretend we know what we're doing. Somebody cut that perfectly right the first time, right? Now, if you can't see what you're doing, you put this marker in there and you can see it.
Mark it up so
It appears it's not red yet. And you're going to have to make it red.
It's sleeping right now. It doesn't want to come out. It's after hours.
Yep. Starting to bleed.
There she goes.
Well, at the mark. Well, it's still not blood all the way, but it's getting there. Marked on my tools. Now if you put a mark over here.
Show YouTube what you're doing.
And you can see when the cutter is cutting.
Yep.
If it's blind, you can't see the normal shiny surface. Some people can't see that. Okay, I gotta knock off the residue of my machine here. It's built up to be in the atmosphere of the building here. Honing on my tools here. We must use that machine. that looked like minimum cleanup. You can see how it's not quite clean on this side, but it is on this side.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take this out. Check with the valve. See what we got. You in my way?
No, you're in my way.
You're in my way? Stand over there now. That's quiet. This appears to be the front valve. This appears to be the rear valve. You put a liberal amount of lapping compound on your valve. Even coat. It's not quite how much they use on TV because they don't have to buy it. It just makes a big mess anyway. Hear it working? You pull it off and look at it. See how bad it is. So, there's where the gray area is where the lap mark is, where your seat's sitting. So, am I close to the edge?
Yeah. It looks pretty even all the way around.
Yeah, looks like I got it pretty good. And you're spinning around in a circle and it looks even. It's a pretty good sign. Looks pretty even.
Yep.
Looks like I screwed up. I got it on the first shot.
Interesting. So although it's not
See
even
your
on
back cut angle right here. See?
yeah, slightly. It's not all the way.
Yeah. Well, you're not on the back cut, and you're not on the front. You know, you got a little bit of a gap in between.
But you're pretty centered though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I got it pretty good on the first shot. Now this is not usable because we don't have a full seat on this other side. So I still got to come back and cut a little deeper.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna ask. Since you didn't cut as much on the other side, to go back to it
On what side?
on the other side.
Well, you think I should do better?
No, I'm just asking you. You think you should do better?
Maybe.
Remember, we're doing this to your standards. So.
I kind of like having to seat them all the way around the whole valve myself. But that does cost extra. You have to come back and cut it again. Now we're trying to keep it up as high as we can because we already know by checking unit heads that these things have way more clearance than what you need. These are not like stock heads where they have no clearance with big cams. These have lots of clearance for big cams. Almost like these are performance application heads. With small seats though, but big bores. So this time we're going to come a little deeper. About another 5,000 I really need. Gonna hit at some point. Out there.
It was about 5 rotations.
It cleaned after about 2. So I'm trying to keep it up as high as I physically can, so I don't go too far. So that seat is right up there. It's getting a full seat, but it's no extra on this one spot. So
That just means I was made a little off.
give it one more shot. Get a little closer this time. Get recenter everything. Make sure it's centered. that spot's real close to the same spot again. It's almost no difference in noise as it goes around. That's what you want to hear. Okay, now we're definitely above the top of the seat now because I got a second angle I can see now. So if you slipped over, you would see that, but you're hiding over there.
Yeah, it's fucking vacuum cleaner.
Is that vacuum cleaner on your way there?
Yeah.
That's because you should be on the other side.
You mean this side?
Where I'm standing. See, it's just barely got a little shiny mark just above it. That is a top cut coming in. See it?
Yep.
We'll get our top angle in here.
We have migrated to this side.
You have a migraine?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. You need your glasses?
Not yet. Obviously I can't see it all because I got the first shot. No, this is my top angle. So now I gotta make sure you don't cut while your valve seat. So you mark it just above your valve seat. In case you can't see. And these are already heavily relieved, so you probably won't do anything. We're going to find out if there's anything to remove. Nope. See the new mark?
A little lip.
And the line just above.
Yep. Tiny little line.
Hitting aluminum though, did it?
Nope.
That's because they come out a different cutter and they cut the piss out of it. I don't like cutting that way. It just lowers the compression way down, doesn't help the flow. They use that stupid cutter I never use, which is like one of these over here somewhere.
Is it rounded or what? Oh, yeah. Hold on, let me zoom into that because you can barely see it. Yeah, it's rounded for sure.
Well, this has a set radius.
Mhm.
Mine has a parabolic curve. So see how mine cuts a lot less material away because they have to cut way deeper to do the same thing I do. So they kill the compression. It doesn't help the flow in here. It's all right if you're a car, but we're not a car. It's a motorcycle.
Yeah.
We have Hemi heads. We have blending surfaces to work with. These aren't made for Harley. They're made for car people. They're different.
So every time you tap that foot pedal, it's centering itself.
It's a self-leveling shock. It has an air plate right here. It goes up and down.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It's called an air chuck. The problem is the valve is sticking down there quite a bit. It's barely letting any air enter it. The thing here, barely even hear it move.
Yeah.
Should be putting a lot more air out than that. It's time to go in there and clean it again.
That means you have to pull that machine out.
Well, I got to pull the air valve out. There's a big valve under here. I have to clean it. So far it still works, so I don't care. Well, it still works, that's all that matters. Alright, so now that one's done. Damn, it's so quiet. So now we relap it again, because we had to cut the seat again. I'm going to get the other one while we're at it, because we did the other seat while we're here. We made a mess.
Is that a homemade tool?
Nope.
Nope.
Called the valve locking stick. It's actually a real part. You can Google that. They make two different ones.
Probably overpriced too.
That's the big one. That valve looks good. Just the second one we did. Good.
Nice.
Now you got to make sure the seat on the head goes all the way around also. If you see a low spot in the seat, then you got to come back and cut it again. So you're looking for a gray line all the way around. So now you got a gray line all the way around, see?
Consistent grid line.
It should be even. There's a zoom in this thing. It goes back and forth like that, see?
Oh, does it?
Yeah. See, it's a gray line all
Yeah.
over there, all the way around.
Consistent. And this one as well.
It's about the same width.
Mm-hmm.
That means it should run.
Should,
First shot.
in theory.
As soon as it starts up, it should run. So these cutters are set for doing stock STD panheads. Or modified STD panheads with the same cutters. I always put the valves right on the very edge. See, instead of putting the darn thing way on the inside, you put it way out here where you take full advantage of your valve head. So, now, racing condition, I'd be even closer to the edge. I'd be right on the edge.
And that line would be a lot.
It'd be right. You just barely see a speck of silver, or
Wow.
or just be gray. But, that's on a race application. You want everything you get on a race bike. Okay, so that's the exhaust. So now you do the intake. That's not heavy. Didn't have to move very good.
Have you ever pulled it or almost pulled it off?
Yep.
Hoo.
Yeah, it hurts when you hit your feet.
Oh,
All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit.